Alright, it's been a little while since I did another video. We're going to continue on with my single sticky series today. But before I do that, I'm going to actually take a second to talk about jet style motion. Okay? I had some students recently ask, how do we jet style the particular way? And when we jet style here in the school, the motion, reference from Slum Tao, is after the jump style, I turn up the tan style, and when I turn over, I pull back with my elbow, but it's a natural snap with my wrist. I never want to emphasize this wrist pushing down here, emphasize the wrist pushing down this way as well. If I emphasize that during application, to support that, I have to use more muscle on my arm and my shoulder. If I use more muscle on my arm and shoulder, that's going to kick back into my body, and that's going to throw me off balance when I try to apply that motion. So, when I'm here, and it comes in and does a pump strike, all I'm doing is simply withdrawing my elbow. I have to remember to target his center, as with all my motions. And the wrist has to naturally snap. If I emphasize this motion right here, pushing down the wrist, it will easily allow him to do some type of circular motion to come in and attack my center line. So that's why we never want to emphasize the snap of the wrist down this way or emphasize the snap of the wrist down this way. Okay, now let's continue on with single stick. We're going to do 2 more attacks today and add on 1 more block. So the attacks we're going to do today are going to be inside whip motion and outside whip motion. Now, where do these forms get, or where do these motions get referenced from in the forms? Well, the inside whip motion, if you're familiar with Slum Tao, after I have this lanza motion here, and I circle to do the jump style motion, this is where we develop the inside whip motion from Slum Tao. The outside whip motion is from Buji. If you remember the Ganjang motion, well, when I go from circle from Ganzao up to jump style, that's where I develop the outside whip motion from within the form. Now you have to take that, what you're developing from the form, and learn to apply it within the single sticky hand manner. So, when I'm here, and I'm in the Tanzan motion, and Ed's going to come in, and he's going to do the block while I do the attack. When I do the palm strike, and he does the jet style motion, the block, that will allow me to do the inside whip motion, and he's going to come in and block with bong style. Then we can reset. And we go back to the original neutral position. Now he's in tan style, and I'm in jump style. So when you're doing that inside whip motion, that motion needs to come from the tan style position after you palm strike. This circle motion is going to go towards your opposite shoulder, circle around, and always targeting his center line. Now remember, there's no back fist in Wing Chun, so I'm not coming in here and doing the motion where my fist lands in the back here. If I try to actually strike somebody with the back of the fist here, just how I was talking about with jet style earlier, supporting on the wrist, if I try to strike somebody here, now to do that, I need to tense my wrist. If I tense my wrist to do that, that's going to kick back all the way up into my shoulder. Again, that could kick back into my body, throwing me off. Let alone that the wrist isn't strong enough to really support a strong strike by going this way into the person. When you do the inside whip punch or the outside whipping punch, you actually need to keep the wrist relaxed, and so the whole face of the fist is still going to come in and hit that person this way. The face of the fist that I'm referencing is right here. Okay? So, when he does the jet style, how do you know to do the inside whip versus the outside whip? Well, if he jet styles straight or towards his opposite leg, in this case he's using his right arm, so if he jet styles a little bit towards his left leg, that's going to cause me to do the inside whip motion. And we go back to neutral. Okay, so let's talk about the outside whip motion for a second. The outside whip motion is going to come, after I do the palm strike, it's going to go down and around and circle back, again targeting your center line. So, how do I know when to do the outside whip motion versus the inside whip motion? Well, if I do the palm strike, and he comes in and jet styles. Now, if he jet styles towards his same leg, in this case with his right arm with his right leg, that's going to cause me to do the outside whip motion. And again, he's going to block with bong style. So, just to review for a second, if he jet styles straight or towards his opposite leg, you can feel that it's going to do the inside whip motion. If he jet styles towards his same leg, that's going to cause him to do the outside whip motion. Now, his block is always going to be block with jump style, catch with the jump style first to feel that force, and to block with bong style. So, if we do it a few times right here, I palm strike, I do inside whip, he blocks with bong style. it palm strikes me. The outside whip, I block with bong style as well. Okay. Now, let's add on one more block, and then you have the basics for single sticky hands. And the block that I'm going to add on today is outside jut. Now, if you remember, where is outside jut reference? From Silam Tao, I do the cow style motion from the third section. The next motion I do is outside jut motion. Okay. Now, when you do this motion, let me also talk about the parameters of this. When you do the outside jut motion, I never want it to go outside my shoulder. When you do this motion right here, the motion should stop right along in line with your ear, right here. Okay? If I go outside of that, I'm actually going outside my triangle right here. All the motions that we do in Wing Chun should happen within this triangle right here. So, when I do the outside jut motion, I don't want to sweep all the way across the sphere right here. All I want to do is come from jut style, from cow style motion, outside jut, and I'm still within my own triangle. So, where do we apply this from? If he comes in and punches, now from here, I simply apply the outside jut motion with a shift. Now, that will allow me to do the palm strike, and allow him to do the jut style. If I want to come from here, I can do an inside whip, and we go back to neutral. We do the change, we go back. Now, if he comes back punches, I can do the Tan out, do the palm strike. He comes in punches, block with bong. He can punch from here, or I can do an outside jut. And I can come in